What point did you determine that the work you were doing could actually bring justice to the Till case?
You know, I didn't know. I have to say, and we're going to talk about Mrs. Mobley, Mother Mobley. It was speaking to her.
And that's Emmett Till's mom.
Emmett Till's mother. And she said to me, "You're going to get my son's case reopened." Because everything I was coming across when I was researching the case, I would go back to her, or people I've spoken with. I would go back to her and tell her what's going on. She knew everything that I discovered.
Wow.
And this was even before, of course, the case was reopened.
And how old was she at the time that you started to work together?
Oh my! I worked with her 8.5 years. I met her in the winter of '96, and she passed away in 2003.
Okay.
1 year before the case was actually reopened.
Okay.
But it wasn't until I really spoke with her, I should say spoke with her, it wasn't until she spoke with me and talked to me about my progression on the case where she felt that I was going to get the case reopened. But so she actually believed in me before I believed in myself, I have to say. I didn't know. I mean, you're hearing about a case and you're trying to tell a story since you was a child. You don't know what is going to happen. I didn't know that I was going to be able to accomplish a film.
Yeah.
You know, it took me 9.5 years to get Till made.
Yeah.
A lot of my time was taken because people would not talk. And I had to take the filmmaker's hat aside and be a human being and, you know, and become a friend to these witnesses that were coming across for them to feel comfortable with me and allow me to tell their story. It was Mrs. Mobley's, her will, her watching her. Let me go back to her. That's like, it's going to be one of the hardest things for me to talk about is her because I never probably mourned her passing. She, man, she's someone, I have to say, I would never meet anyone like her in my lifetime, ever again. Here was a woman fighting 40 some odd years when I met her to get her son's case reopened. She never lost that will to fight. So when I met her at a time where I'm young, I'm trying to find direction. I lost my grandmother. She became my adopted grandmother. And so that's how we became.
Was she still in Chicago?
She was still in Chicago, but that's how we became so close. And she confided in me with a lot of information and things to help with the case. So I would have to say it was just her passion and her will. I was inspired by her. I mean, this was a woman, if she spoke to you, her words would move your soul. I had never had anyone like that do that to me. And meeting someone like that at that time and having her at my side, giving me direction, that's what kept me going. That's what made me, even pursue this even more. And not to mention when I came across the information of others being involved and meeting eyewitnesses who have never spoken publicly before, all that stuff added to this great fight, and all I ever wanted to do was get this case reopened. Not for me, I guess.
Did she live to see justice served?
She didn't, and that was the hardest setback that I could ever receive going through this journey, was losing her a year before the case was reopened. Yeah. But she knew it was going to be reopened. In fact, on that very day when she passed away, we were both preparing to go to Atlanta to speak at the King Center and Ebenezer as well. And I was going to do my presentation on Till, and she was going to speak on it. And an hour or so before she passed, the state of Mississippi, the Attorney General's office called me. And they wanted to actually talk to me about how I could start handing over information to them. And I said, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not in the proper position to do that right now, but we'll figure it out. And Alvin Sykes was on the phone with me. And one thing we asked the state of Mississippi to do, well, the Attorney General's office, I shouldn't say the state of Mississippi, we just asked them to speak to Mrs. Mobley. They wouldn't. They wouldn't talk to her.
Of course they wouldn't.
And unfortunately, an hour later, she passed away. But I spoke with her right before she passed away.